And welcome back to the Hot Lap, as we are going to be looking at the best console sim racing games available now. Let's give it a top 5. So, let's begin. And to begin with, yes, F1 2023 lands at number 5. And it has those two quite frightening letters, E and A. Yes, but it is the only officially licensed F1 game with the most up-to-date F1 cars. Yes, this is 2023. 2024 is releasing in May of this year, May 31st. Like FIFA, or like FC, it has yearly updates, let's say, which are quite expensive, which I think is on the negative front. And since its inception in 2009, properly in 2010 though, Codemasters, and now EA, have seemingly taken as much as they've put into the game. For example, classic cars, classic tracks, F1 2013, red flag, but now they put the red flags in. They do have a really good story one-player mode called called Breaking Point, I believe. Not Racing Point, that's an F1 team, which started in 2021 and continued into 2023, which I thought was fairly solid. But what on earth is F1 World? And what is the point of those supercars? Why Codemasters and EA? I cannot help but feel that when you've got this yearly game, what an absolutely waste of developmental potential. And like FIFA and FC, with their yearly updates, there's not really that much of an update. The main reason you'd get this is to have the most recent F1 game. Solid online, albeit I don't want to call it toxic, but if you don't like your Lance Strolls in your first corner, please be aware. But there we go. Solid online. That's F1 2023. And next up, we have WRC 2023. Yes, Codemasters' first and official WRC game. They took the license from Kiloton Games, and which was what, WRC Generations, I believe. And this is the only fully licensed up-to-date rally game, albeit it's in 2023. It was a bit buggy to begin with, but with constant updates and season modes, kind of like their F1 game, it's been fairly solid. But no silly F1 World wasted potential here. There are lots of cars, lots of different stages, a really good career path as well for you to enjoy. It does have fairly solid online modes as well, albeit you can't really race too much in the online mode. It's more like a time trial. But if you like rally, this is the place to go for the most up-to-date rally stuff. And also, unlike EA's iteration of F1, it's got a much better custom livery maker where people have made really, really good liveries. I just wish there was maybe like a few more options and then open it up a tiny bit more like Gran Turismo. But I digress. For EA and EA Codemasters' first official WRC game after the Dirt Series, I do feel this is a really, really solid effort going. So next up, we are looking at Project Cars. So yes, call me a kind of a cheater because you're like, what? This came out on the PS4 back in 2017. What on earth is going on? Well, the reason why it is still available at a bargain price, and I can't help but feel it is a really, really solid sim racing game. The sequel, obviously, to the original Project Cars, underrated, I feel. Yes, that game was really good, but it was a bit buggy. So in Project Cars 2, it has a massive collection of cars, which we love, obviously, here at the Hot Lap. And for its time in 2017, it had arguably the best weather system available on a console. That has obviously potentially since been surpassed, but we can't ignore also the massive collection of tracks it has, including a massive collection of British tracks. I think the biggest collection of British tracks going on a base game. Yes, ACC does have that British GT pack update, but you've got to pay for that. and Project Cars comes with it. The only down point, obviously, with it being a slightly older game compared to all of the others, is the fact that it has slightly older variations of cars, not maybe the most up-to-date, albeit lots of historic cars as well, and maybe not the most up-to-date iterations of track, but they don't really change that much. Just for example, like, you know, Air Rouge has only just recently been updated in F1 2024, for example, and it still has some DLC available. It has a small but dedicated online community that's not, you know, not toxic at all. Fairly hardcore now at this stage, because this is a game now that is, you know, a number of years old, but you can get it for really dirt cheap on, obviously, disc. This is Project Cars 2, one of my favourite games still to play. Solid one-player mode as well. So let's get into our next one, and our next one is Assetto Corsa Competizione, arguably the most hardcore of the hardcore sims available on your console. If you like your tyres and your science tyres, get this one. A solid wet weather system as well. Plenty of customization options for your races. Plenty of online. A solid online, arguably one of the less toxic online communities compared to some of the other ones we've got on here. But, and it's the but, it only does GT3 and GT4 cars. But you've got to pay for the GT4 cars, and a slight negative as well. If you want to play the most recent cars, you're going to have to pay. But the plus point to that is quite often the DLC packs are on sale on both the Microsoft and the PlayStation Store, and it does have obviously a PS4 and a PS5 update as well. All the games here are available on current and previous generations, apart from WRC 2023, which is only a current gen game. So once again here, it has an eclectic version of cars. If you like your GT3 cars, you can buy the DLC pack for GT4. There are track packs available. For example, it's had the British GT track pack, which is, once again, fairly solid, which we like here on the Hot Lap. It's just that you got to pay for the most recent stuff. But as I said, it's fairly inexpensive, and the game itself is constantly on sale. The sound is absolutely amazing. If you want your steering wheels, there's a very good argument to put that this game is going to give you the best bang for your buck. If you like your wheels, if you like your Fanatec stuff, get ACC Competizione, and it has a really solid one-player mode as well, if you're not too keen on the online stuff. So let's get into our number one. But before that, I just wanted to give a special mention to Forza Motorsport, which some people may argue is more of a arcadey, a simcade game. Yes, it was a bit buggy when it came out, but it still has plenty of updates, and it's Microsoft's answer to the Gran Turismo series, a really solid game. And I think if we ended up doing a top 5 sim racing games at the end of 2024, it may well be in. But let's now have a look at who is number one. And number one is Gran Turismo 7. Really, well, if you're questioning it, the detail in the cars is absolutely amazing. It's second to none. And if you're not sure, just go in, if you've got the game or you have a friend, just go into the photo mode and look at the cars. I mean, the absolutely stunning. Plus, it's got lots of different cars and variations of cars, which is a massive plus if you like your eclectic car collection, very similar to the Forza Motorsport series. Also, it has a very dedicated online mode, and it does hold your hand. So if you want a casual entrance to the online mode, get Gran Turismo, because I do feel it is one of the most friendlier options, at least at the beginning, for their online modes if you're just starting out in sim racing. A really solid one-player mode as well, albeit that not quite the Gran Turismo 2, Gran Turismo 3 one-player experience, but still, let's be fair, a lot better than Gran Turismo Sport. Yeah, a lot better than Gran Turismo Sport, let's be fair. And also, it does have, on console, the best custom livery design maker. I mean, it's absolutely up there. It is, yeah, it is the best, second to none, on console. And there's so many livery options available that if you want one, you're gonna find it. Now, the search for the livery, when you're trying to search it, is not really the best. There's probably better ways of doing it, but the custom liveries in here are amazing. Two other things I'd like to add, which make this game above the rest on consoles, is the free DLC updates. Now, these have been criticised a bit by some, because it's like, I don't like the car, you know, there's not enough tracks. Yes, there has been tracks in the DLC, you know, in the free DLC, and plenty of cars. But remember, this is all free once you buy the base game. So I don't really think we can be in too much of a position to argue about it. There is a lack of, for example, GT3 and GT4, their equivalent GR3 and GR4 cars in the game. We want more up-to-date models. For example, they've got like a very old McLaren that you can see here in its custom F1-esque livery, which you know, even I feel they need to update it, but still, they're updating it all the time. And the second thing on console is this game does have the best weather system going on console. Second to none is Gran Turismo's weather system. A massive thumbs up for us. Gran Turismo 7, #1. So, if you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. If you made it to the end, comment below, let us know when your top 5 would be. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Stay tuned at the Hot Lap for more motorsport news, F1 news, rally news, IndyCar news, Formula 1 news, and we play a few games as well. Thank you very much.